So, I'm older. Like I said, I'm your favorite cousin, your bald-headed brother. Cool Rich back in this mug. And what we talking about? Because, I'm in my 30s. I'm about to be in my mid-30s. I'm still in my early 30s, Even though I'm bald-headed and everything like that, I'm only 33. And for a good amount of my college career, I always had some good fragrances. And I remember a few of my friends always having some good fragrances too. So I wanted to actually go through a few of those fragrances and see if, this might be able to help out some young dudes that's still in college or just getting out of college, or let's say you between the ages of about 21 and 25, and you may not be able to spend $200 to $300 upon fragrances, things like that, So this is going to help you out where you can still smell your best, but at the same time, you don't got to break the bank. That's why your favorite cousin look out for you. So let's go ahead and talk real quick. Chill out. Family, I missed y'all, man, because I've been, handling some business. I got a few other things been going on. I got my gun business, got my property development business, everything else that's been going on. So, hey, man, I appreciate y'all for, checking in, tapping in. More people that's been subscribing to the channel. We are definitely over the 50 mark, and I appreciate that. So I want to get over 500, so let's add another 0 to that. Remember, it's the HBO special, the Help a Brother Out special. So like, share, and subscribe to the content so that way we can keep sharing this information. And shout out to the Poor Man's Podcast for creating the HBO special. So I always want to make sure I give my just dues to the individuals that create certain narratives and stuff like that, certain phrases. But one thing that I did want to go ahead and have a conversation about was a few fragrances that I feel like if you're a young man, you're coming into your own, but you ain't trying to break the bank with getting certain fragrances. And I'm going to make sure as your favorite cousin, your bald-headed brethren, making sure that you go ahead and smell your best without having to break out the biggest part of what you need to still keep in the bank, which is your money. All right. So first one that's going to be on the list is this one. You can find it at your local discounters. This one you can catch for between $10, sometimes $20, $25. This one is Seductive Home. Guess, Seductive Home. This mug, let me make sure. Very simple bottle. Nothing too overzealous. It's an amber, warm, spicy, woody type of fragrance. Very chill, very relaxed when it comes to that. But it still is going to give you kind of more of a synthetic feel. You get the pink pepper in here. You got some mandarin orange, some cardamom, a little orchid, a little violet leaf, a little bit of vetiver, like I told you up there before. You got some amber, some patchouli, things like that. And it smells like atomizer works great, so that's one thing you don't have to worry about. But you will smell good without having to break the bank. This still smells very, very great for the price that you're paying. You're only paying about 10 to 15 bucks, maybe some. I don't see you paying 20, but I would say between 10 to 15 bucks. You might end up seeing something out there, maybe TJ Maxx or something like that has it for 20, but for the most part, this is a very smooth fragrance. It's more of a spicier scent, so it's more trying to, engage. It's trying to seduce the individual to come on in, and it has like a woody dry down in the mix of it, so it definitely has that. So you got a good balance. So it works for you. Now, how does it work for you as far as being a young man? When you're talking about as a young man, you want to have something that's going to be cost efficient but balanced in your collection. Now, what do I mean by that? You're not going to wear this every day. This is not your everyday scent. This is more of like, all right, I might go out and, go on a date. Or I might end up, if you're a part of a registered student organization, you might end up, having like a meeting, or like you might go into an event wearing something like this. This would be something that you can wear, and it's not going to be, it's not going to be offensive, but it's going to do the job that you're looking for without, again, you having to break the bank. And I keep emphasizing that because when you're younger, especially being a younger man, you don't have as much funds readily available to you like you will when you get older. So that's going to be a big difference in how you end up purchasing certain things. And hopefully, maybe you end up changing that whole narrative, and you might end up being very financially stable and very financially well off to be able to afford the $200 and $300 colognes. But never sleep on the cheapies. The cheapies still work out in your favor, because even then, let's say if you forget some type of cologne in your house, you can actually keep one of these in your car, put it in your glove compartment or some place that may keep it cool. Like if you got a big truck, you can keep it in that middle, like not the middle latch, but that one that's below. So where it'll still keep a good cool climate, a steady climate at that, and it's out of the sunlight. But this is definitely something I would see some, young men wearing when they have like an event, or they're about to do something that's, part of a registered student organization, or, something on campus, or, maybe if they're going out on a date or anything like that, you can be doing stuff like that. So I'm giving you some information about how you can end up wearing this. And I think that I'm not going to say that this is office worthy. So you may not want to wear this in the office. It might be a little too overbearing in the office, because usually in the office you want something that's going to be inoffensive. This one is going to be a bit more spicy, and you don't want spice in the middle of close proximity. All right, so just giving you that. That's why I keep talking about those events and organizations and stuff like that, because usually those are large group gatherings. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you knew the difference off of those. So Guess, Seductive, Home. All right, so that one was a initial fragrance that is a little bit more specific towards the events and the setting. But like I said, you want to have a balance, right? So you got to have something that's going to be more geared towards your everyday signature scent. Now, if you got a signature scent, then you would definitely want to have something that's versatile. Versatility is going to be your best friend when it comes to a signature scent, because when it comes to something that's versatile, you want to be able to say like, all right, I can go to work in this, I can go to an event in this, I can do pretty much anything I want in this, and I'm still going to be able to perform, or my fragrance is going to be able to perform. That's going to be key. So here's the thing that I wanted to point out to you, to let you know that this one was one of the best fragrances that I think that you can get on the market for the cost, because usually you can find this bottle or something bigger on at Joma Shop. You could definitely find this at Joma Shop for probably like $30, 35 bucks. So this is something that I would say that you should definitely spend your money on if you are a young man under the age of 28. It'll work for you. Mont Blanc Legend. Let me make sure that this is showing. Simple bottle, right? Told you I do love like the aesthetics and everything, but this is a very simple bottle. The good thing about it is that the bottle is simplistic and it still shows versatility. So the bottle does its job just as well as the fragrance does. Now, what's actually in the fragrance? Well, you got some lavender, pineapple, bergamot, some lemon verbena, some red apple, And you also got some dried fruits, oak moss, geranium, some cornmeal, and some rose, tonka bean, and from what it smells like, some sandalwood in here as well. So the good thing about this is that if you do like something similar to Creed Aventus, besides Mont Blanc Explorer, which is definitely the like a cheaper clone of Creed Aventus, this is also a clone of something similar like that as well. This gives, it's not on that level of Mont Blanc Explorer as far as the like the closeness, but it's the versatility aspect of it with the mix of the pineapple and all of the citrusy notes that comes with it that gives it such a great performance. The versatility of it, man, I'm telling you, like, you will get compliments out of this, but at the same time, it's never going to be one of those overbearing fragrances if you're not overzealously spraying. This is a good 3 to 4 sprays, and you already know how you're supposed to spray, right? And let's make sure that you end up going through it. Let's refresh, all right? You spray these, spray the wrist, get the wrist. Now, do not mix them in. You could dab. The most that you should do is dab the most. Leave it how it is because you have a bouquet. It is a bouquet, right? It's a bouquet of artwork. You have to actually let the notes break down throughout the sections. You want to have the top notes, middle notes, bass. You don't want to sit up here and then mix it all together and then you just end up having a combined concoction of some trash, or like it ended up changing the note breakdown of how it actually smells and performs. And then you also want to, get up in here. I usually get up on the wrist, up in the elbows as well, because that's another pressure point, and also the back of the neck. Why do the back of the neck? Because you also want to have that sillage. You want to have that sillage. You have that sillage that lingers. So when you walk, there's a trail. That's how you want it to be. You want to have that trail. So that's a good fragrance to actually have, especially if you are younger. This is a very smooth, versatile fragrance. You will not be disappointed with this at all. And for the most part, you're getting the best bang for your buck, because you're spending $30, $35 and you getting something like a Creed Aventus clone. And then the Mont Blanc Explorer costs something similar to that price as well. It's like $30, $35. So either way, you can get this one or you can get the Mont Blanc Explorer. Mont Blanc Explorer smells more Explorer. Let me just make sure I enunciate it properly. It smells more like that Creed Aventus, but this one is a good version of it as well. So again, Mont Blanc Legend. Man. It's just it's the mango opening. It's like the mango opening, then with the lavender. It's like then with the patchouli. Come on. Come on, man. The lemon with the sandalwood. Come on. How you gonna start off with the mango opening, then have the patchouli and the tangerine and the lemon and some clary sage? Come on now. You're doing a lot. Although you was doing a lot when you did it, and you did it right. You did it right. That's why I'm giving you your props and giving you your credit, because this actually is one of the best fragrances that you can have as a young man, especially in college. If you are a young man younger than the age of 27 or 28, really you can go up to the ages of 40 and rock this fragrance and nobody will say anything. Really 45 if you want to. Actually, you can go higher than that. But I'm just more so saying that to say this, like, it has like it's so smooth, because it's like you ever heard of a fragrance being physically attractive? Like, this type of fragrance can make somebody physically attracted to you. Like, you remember what I said, like, you got those type of compliments and stuff like that. We already talked about it. Is the compliment factor for a reason. It's complimentier factor, right? This one sits at the top. It sits at the top. I have seen this at work. All right, so I'm not telling you nothing that I have not seen with my own eyes, and I've seen this on so many different levels in so many different settings. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm giving you game. I'm telling you. Go ahead and grab you this. It's not too expensive. You get it at discounters. You can find it at Joma Shop. You can find it at FragranceNet. You know what I'm saying? And this is stuff that you could definitely wear. Like, these are definitely good things that you can rock with, like polos. You can rock with a t-shirt, white t-shirt. You can rock this with pretty much anything. It's another versatile fragrance. Both of these that you can rock with suits, all the way just to kick it in some cargo pants and some white short. I mean, a white t-shirt and some nice nice kicks. Like, ain't nothing that's overzealous that you got to do with this. But at the same time, if you did want to go ahead and put on a nice suit, if you really wanted to get in on a nice suit, I'm telling you, this will not steer you wrong. You will get compliments. So, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all, because this reminded me of my boy Paul Barnes. So shout out to my boy Paul. Hope that you end up watching this content and stuff, so that way you know that I definitely shouted you out. Because, hey man, ask a bunch of the homegirls that we used to be around, like, man, all of them used to say, like, oh my God, you got, like, if you got on the polo black, they used to be like, oh my God, you got on that Paul, you got on that Paul, you smell like Paul, you smell like Paul. They literally used to say that all the time. That's how I know, like, fragrances mean a lot to people when they end up smelling it on you. Like, it's funny because even with my girl, right? Sometimes, like, with my girl, she'll end up leaving or going somewhere, and I got so many fragrances. So when she ends up smelling something, it usually smells like me. So what does that remind her of? It reminds her of me. So that's just something that gives you a quick impression that if you trying to, you know, set yourself apart from somebody else, especially if you're young and you're trying to make that good impression, when you smell different, I'm telling you right now, you make a different impression because they remember that. They may not remember everything else, but they remember that. They remember how you smell, and they'll be like, oh yeah, you was that person that smelled good up at the yeah, I do remember. I'm telling you from experience. So, hey man, I appreciate y'all. I want y'all to go ahead and make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the content. Make sure that you give me the HBO special, the Help a Brother Out special, so that way we can make sure that we end up building the community, the cool, rich community, and we can share more information about this stuff, because, you know, I want to make sure that my young dogs is out here living their best life and they smelling the best as well. You know, you can't be out here stanking. Some of y'all just be out here stanking. And, you know, sometimes that happens. Hey, sometimes you get caught slipping. But, you know, in the summertime, try to take 2 showers if you out here. You know what I'm saying? When you go outside, you end up smelling like outside. So don't be afraid to, if you come back in the house, take a shower. And then if you're trying to go back out and be around some girls, make sure that you end up hitting that shower before you end up going back out. Sometimes if that's what you want to do, you want to smell your freshest and your best. But, hey, man, I appreciate y'all. I hope that y'all stay safe. Make sure that y'all like, share, and subscribe to the content. I be getting tongue-tied sometimes, people. But, yeah, man, I want y'all to be smooth, be safe. Let's get over 500 subscribers in the next couple of weeks. All right? Peace.